Imagine packing your bags for a vacation, and instead of sunny beaches, you're headed to Rwanda. Sounds like a plot twist from a B-rated movie, right? But hold on to your seats because this isn't Hollywood. This is the reality for some rather unfortunate folks in the UK who, instead of seeking asylum, find themselves on an unexpected vacation. And by vacation, I mean deportation. Now, don't get me wrong, Rwanda is a beautiful country with a rich culture and history. But when you're fleeing persecution, the last thing on your mind is exploring the wild savannas of Africa. It's more like, hey, I was hoping for some peace and safety, not a safari adventure. But alas, the UK government seems to have other plans, and they're not exactly offering a travel brochure with a choice of destinations. This controversial plan has raised quite a few eyebrows, not just within the UK, but globally. And while it's easy to make light of this unexpected vacation, the reality is far from a laughing matter. So buckle up, because this isn't your regular holiday getaway. That's right, folks. Next stop on this wild ride, Rwanda. Now, if you're thinking, Rwanda, that's not so bad, well, think again. Picture this, you're from Syria or Sudan, you've escaped conflict, and now you're told you're being shipped off to Rwanda. Talk about a vacation gone wrong. You see, these asylum seekers aren't exactly thrilled about the idea. They're dealing with past traumas, fears of persecution, and let's not forget the ever-dreaded culture shock. It's like being dropped into a new episode of Survivor, except in this version everyone's playing for keeps. Imagine you're Khaled, a Syrian fellow who's so terrified of this unexpected trip he's gone on a hunger strike. Now that's one extreme diet plan nobody wants to try, and he's not alone. There's a buddy from Sudan who's just as petrified. It's like they're stuck in a twisted game of who's got the worst vacation story. So if you're considering a trip to Rwanda, you might want to reconsider, unless of course you're an asylum seeker in the UK. But wait, there's more. Because what would a controversial policy be without a band of critics? Picture this. A group of superheroes, each armed with a potent weapon. The power of critique. They swoop in from every corner, their capes flapping in the wind of controversy. At the forefront we have charities and religious leaders, their voices echoing through the halls of power, questioning the morality of the policy. They argue that it's like passing the buck to another country, especially one with a debatable human rights record. Next we have the UN Refugee Agency, shooting laser beams of legal challenges, highlighting the concerns over human rights and health conditions. They're not just throwing punches in the dark, they have a point. Is it fair to disrupt people smuggling networks by potentially endangering the lives of the very people we're trying to protect? And what about the asylum seekers themselves? Their fear and distress are palpable, a stark reminder of the human element often overlooked in such policy debates. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you turn a policy debate into a superhero showdown. But fear not, for the UK government has its defense strategy ready. Picture this as a high-stakes chess game, where the government is meticulously plotting each move. Their knight, the deportation plans. Now they might have faced a few checks from the European Court of Human Rights, charities, even religious leaders. But they're not backing down. Nope, they're moving their pawns, committed to disrupting people smuggling networks and deterring dangerous channel crossings. And let's not forget, safety is a concern. So, they've got their bishops in place, assuring safeguarding measures for detained individuals. It's a game of defense and strategy, where each piece has its part to play. And the UK government, well, it's hoping to call out checkmate. But will the game end as they expect, or are there unseen moves on the board? Checkmate, or so the UK government hopes. So, what's the final verdict on this unexpected vacation plan? Let's take a moment to catch our breath and reflect. The UK's proposed vacation package for asylum seekers with an all-expense-paid, non-refundable, one-way ticket to Rwanda has certainly stirred the pot. It's like a surprise party nobody asked for, and everybody is scrambling to find the right words to express their, let's say, gratitude. On one hand, we have the UK government steadfast in its commitment to disrupt people smuggling networks, and on the other, we have the critics who argue that this policy is not just a game of hot potato, but an immoral shifting of responsibility. It's like a high-stakes game of musical chairs, but the music's stopped, and no one's quite sure where to sit. Meanwhile, Rwanda, our gracious host, stands with open arms ready to accommodate these unexpected guests. Yet the asylum seekers, our would-be vacationers, are left in a state of fear and uncertainty, unsure of what awaits them at the end of this journey. So, who's right, who's wrong? And most importantly, when's the next flight out? Well, folks, that's all we have for today. Remember, when planning your next vacation, make sure it's not a one-way ticket to Rwanda. Unless you're an asylum seeker in the UK,